What is going on, players? Your boy Hunter back with another vid. And today we're talking about the AtomicDEX and the recent announcement they made on Twitter where they said that they'll be adding KYC and AML to the AtomicDEX exchange. Now, a little while ago, I had made a video about Komodos AtomicDEX, and I'll link it up above if you haven't seen it yet, where I give a sneak peek at what it looks like and what it can do. But they have updated it quite a bit since then. And today on Twitter, as I mentioned, is where they made the announcement. So I'll go ahead and read the tweets and we'll discuss. All right, let's get right into it. Our team has made a rational decision in the face of regulation to safeguard our developers and long-term success. This means the official version of the AtomicDEX will include KYC AML compliance. We ask everyone who wants to see mainstream adoption to support us. And then they tag KMD. They continue. We bet everything on building an innovative, disruptive technology that tries to change the way things work in the world. Their vision is essentially cross-chain, cross-protocol, cross-liquidity, cross-everything. And they mentioned that they believe a decentralized world is possible, achievable, and desirable. They continue. Blockchain projects are tech startups, and tech startups take responsibility risks in order to succeed, which is true. This means we must protect our most precious resources, which are our people, by being proactive. And I get what they're saying by that. I mean, they want to make sure that no one gets bodied over there. FBI doesn't come knocking it down. Open up, type shit, right? I get it. I get it. They continue though. We want to avoid a situation like the one Bitmix is currently going through, where allegations saw people charged with the illegal operating of an exchange and money laundering schemes. And this is where we're actually going to go ahead and stop. And I'm going to give you my opinion. And by the way, if you do want to read more about it, this is on their Twitter page, and you can see that it continues. And they have a whole thread on questions and answers. But let's go ahead and I'll give you guys my personal advice. Now you'll notice that they mentioned Bitmix, a crypto exchange widely known for its ability to leverage trade. And it seems like that they're seemingly targeting that as a specific reason for the decision, right? Or the main reason. Now let's go ahead and break down what actually happened with Bitmix so you can kind of understand where they're coming from. If you aren't aware of the decision that happened, the CFTC filed a civil enforcement action against Bitmix, including 5 entities and 3 individuals for operating an unregistered trading platform and violating multiple CFTC regulations, including failing to implement AML, which is anti-money laundering, right? And I kind of see where they're coming from in this case. From what it looks like, they see an exchange that got bodied for not making sure that their consumers aren't money laundering on their exchange, and I guess they kind of spooked them a little bit. And then it seems like another reason that they had mentioned was because it brings more legitimacy to the AtomicDEX to target new audiences that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. The legitimacy in the eyes of the government, sure. That can be argued. That can definitely, everything can be argued, really. But so I'm going to give you my opinion, really, here. And now, in my opinion, adding KYC and AML is going to be a huge mistake, right? I mean, you're going to have to give them all your information, tell them who you are, pretty much give them your whole identity. And it's for a reason that just doesn't make too much sense to me, right? It's just not there. Like, Bitmix is a centralized exchange, and from what I've heard, has some sort of a shady history anyways, right? So I'm honestly not surprised that, this whole takeover happened. So to try to compare their situation to yours as a team from Komodo, I don't see any correlation there. To me, it just seems like, they're trying to do, I guess, they're trying to be as precautious as possible, but I don't know, man, like at the cost of what? The product, And the second reason is because the name. I mean, the name AtomicDEX implies that there are atomic swaps happening, which there are, and that it's a decentralized exchange, or decentralized exchange happens there, which it does. However, this is where it gets tricky, right? Because people have their different perceptions of what can be quote unquote decentralized, including, for example, is there a dedicated team of people working on the project? And without them, would there be any development made to the project itself, right? Is the project itself open source? Is the community able to choose the direction in which it goes, by majority vote, etc. In this case, for me, I'm going to be using the definition of decentralization in this way. If you're able to access the exchange and use it from multiple different endpoints, sources, or what have you, then to me that's decentralized, right? Why, you ask? Well, if the government tells the team to stop operating tomorrow, shut down the site and everything, remove all connections that they have to the platform, um, then there should still be some sort of way for any users, such as myself, to connect to the website and have access to it. That to me is true decentralization. In this case, again, to me, it's going to be a case by case basis, but in this case, that's what they're talking about, right? Uniswap is a pretty good example. Uniswap is accessible, in over 50 different websites. So if they shut down, their domain, uniswap.com or whatever, you can still access Uniswap, right, through any different website. And honestly, you can even access it on the blockchain. So, Uniswap is decentralized in that way. And in this case, to me, like for Komodo, those parameters would still apply. So there should still be different websites where you can hopefully potentially use the AtomicDEX. I mean, I know you can't access the AtomicDEX by using a website. However, you can still download it. So the main point for me here is that if the government can come in and just shut down any connection to your project and no one can use it anymore, then that's centralized. But if shutting down doesn't impact the accessibility for the users, such as myself, then that's decentralized, right? Government steps in and says, hey, close this shit down, and I can still access DEX through a different means. Decentralized, decentralized. That's just like simply put, right? We can't keep putting all these little if, ands, or buts and what ifs, for determining certain words. To me, that's decentralized in this case. However, the other issue with KYC and AML is that the ease of use goes away, right? Gone are the days where you can just download the newest release and use it instantly. No, 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 no. Now you'll probably have to wait for them to approve you, and they might even have to access your funds to tie your name to it and register you, just in case Uncle Sam has to kick your door down. Where are my funds, boy? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if that last part will be true, so I don't want to spread any false information, but chances are they're taking your information for a reason. Now you have to trust that they're going to handle it with care. And that's the problem, bro. You're losing the trustlessness factor of the blockchain. That's part of why the blockchain is so fire, that it's supposed to be trustless. Now all of a sudden we're adding this third layer where it's essentially negating that, But in summary, I do think Komodo is making a bit of a mistake by choosing to go this route. I realize you sometimes do have to make sacrifices in the world that we live in, to get ahead and whatnot. But to me, this is kind of throwing away part of the idea of being a hub for decentralized exchange, and really just like it's one of the basic foundations of cryptocurrency. But listen, let me know in the comments below. Do you think Komodo made the right decision? I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure the team would as well. So if anyone from the team is watching this, by the way, by any chance, and shouts out to you guys, keep on killing it. Like, I understand where you guys are coming from, like where you want to protect the people that are behind the project, of course. You want to protect the work that you guys have been putting into it for all these years. But at the same time, at what cost? Like that's the main thing, bro. At what cost? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.